Welcome back to Everyman EDC, and it is time to do another pen review. Today, we're going to be talking about this Schrade Tactical Pen. Now, I have talked many times about the fact that I think tactical pens are a bit of a misnomer, that pens don't make very good tactical weapons, and this is not going to change my opinion on that. But I will say that if you're going to try to sell something as a tactical pen, this is how you probably should start by building it. So you can see this has a thicker body to it, and it has some texture going down right through it. Now, one of the problems I have with a lot of pens that talk about tactical pens is they're not big enough to really get a fistful and really be able to tighten your grip on. And this one is. And that is one of the things I do. If you're going to market it as a tactical pen, that's a good place to start. Now, again, I will not try to use a pen in a tactical situation. The most I will do with a pen in a tactical situation would probably be to throw it as a distraction and try to get myself out of that situation. But let's take a closer look at this pen. I've had this pen for a number of years. You can see it definitely has some wear and tear on that clip. If we look around on the body of this, and hopefully it comes across, you can see it's seen its fair share of pocket time. And that's because I actually really like this pen. This pen is not a super expensive pen. It's only $25 or right around that price point, and it works well. It's just a click button, which is simple enough. If I pull this out, you can see this is pretty much the only piece of the pen that comes off unless you unscrew the clip. But you unscrew this. The ink cartridge that it has is one of these Schmidt's Easy Flow, and I really do like these cartridges. They work nice to me. This is one of my more preferred pen cartridges. Um, so I'm happy with the ink cartridge it comes with. I'm happy with the simplicity of its instruction. It is an aluminum bodied pen, but let's look at this real quick before we put it away. Hopefully this comes across. I know it's a little bit hard, but it is a fairly thick aluminum too. So it has a decent weight to it, which again, if you're going to try to sell something as tactical, I think a little extra weight is not a bad thing. I would prefer that than a lighter weight pen in that situation. The one thing I will say about this pen, and it's not a huge deal to me, but if we take a look at this clip, you can see it does wiggle back and forth. And a lot of times you'll see this with clips that have screws like this, and you see this in certain knives and that type of thing. But there is a little bit of milling, and I doubt it's going to come across on camera. There is a little bit of milling, just a tiny bit, for the pen to sit in, and it sits there pretty well. Even though there is a little bit of movement, it's really not too bad. It goes in and out of pocket well. The clip is definitely strong, and I'm happy with this. So let's take a look at how it writes, because again, if you're going to have a pen, its primary purpose for everybody is going to be that it writes. And I know, guys, my handwriting is pretty horrible, but I have to be honest, this pen writes very smoothly, very nicely. I'm happy with it. And I would say that this is probably a pen you'll be happy with. Now, it does weigh a little bit more. And so if you're going to be writing a lot in one day, it might start to get a little heavy for you to be writing with. That being said, some people like heavier pens when they write. So if you're one of those people, then you might really like this. The grip on it is pretty smooth. It has a little bit of grooves here. And I find that those grooves, I just kind of set my fingers right in there, and they work pretty well for me. Pretty comfortable to hold. All right, guys, if you have any questions or any other pens you might like to see me review, go ahead and leave that in the comments. This one, to me, is one that, yep, I can recommend. It's a good pen for its price, and it does, or at least could be used, I think, in the way it was designed as a tactical pen. Not my first option for sure. Probably just about my last option. But if you had to, I guess you have that option with this one, which in comparison to some of the other pens, we've talked about pens like the Nightcore NTP 30, not probably real practical in the tactical options. We've talked about the Zebra X701. Again, they're nice pens. You might want to buy them, but not necessarily going to be as useful as something like this Schrade in a tactical purpose. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you hit subscribe and come back and check out some more videos.